Hello everyone. Today we are going to evaluate a scales measuring internet addiction, IDS-15. We will first have a brief introduction about the scales and related concepts, followed by more details about the evaluation of the scale. In developing countries, over half of the population are falling into internet dependency, and the situation is more predominant in developed countries. With the increased prevalence of the internet addiction worldwide, there is an ongoing discussion concerning the framework of internet addiction among scholars. In 2013, APA has included a subtype of internet addiction, internet gaming disorder, in DSM-5. Scholars have suggested the appropriateness of referencing the 9 diagnostic criteria to internet addiction. Internet Disorder Scales, IDS-15, is selected for evaluation as it is developed based on the diagnostic criteria of IGD in DSM-5, since IDS-15 is still lack of review and has only been validated among Western population. Evaluation of its psychometric property among Chinese population is suggested. IDS-15 is designed in a format of 5-point Likert scale with a total of 15 items. Higher score in IDS-15 indicates a higher degree of internet addiction. In IDS-15, internet addiction is constructed with 4 factors. First, escapism and dysfunctional emotional coping. It measures individuals' degree of using internet as a way of producing reliable and consistent shift in the mood state as a coping strategies to make themselves feel better. Second, withdrawal symptoms. It measures individual unpleasant feeling arose from the reducing or discontinuing of internet use. Third, impairment and dysfunctional self-regulation. It's about the importance of internet use in the individual's life and the impact of his or her daily functioning and interpersonal relationship. Fourth, dysfunctional internet-related self-control. It measures the individual's level of self-control over the use of internet and the capacity in decreasing the amount of internet use despite of effort.
For the methodology, participants were recruited through convenience sampling. Concerning the restricted range problem when distributing questionnaire via online platform, with the majority of subjects being heavy internet users, questionnaires were distributed on-site and assistance is provided when necessary, so that subjects with various levels of internet use can take part in the survey. In addition, the subjects were reassured that the purpose of the study is to evaluate the psychometric property of the questionnaire, and their identities and information given would be kept anonymous and confidential, hence to reduce their intentions in responding in a socially desirable manner. Moreover, to reduce question order bias and potential interference between the skills, order of the skills is randomized. The evaluation of IDS-15 can be divided into 3 aspects: reliability by checking Combus alpha, validity by checking the Pearson correlation with different skills, and the skills administration based on the feedback received from participants and administrators. For validity checking, we use these 4 skills as a ruler. The first criterion is time spent on internet for private use per week. This criterion is used because the more one addicted to the internet, the more time spent on internet due to the lack of self-control and craving. Such positive correlation is also supported by past studies. So if IDS-15 really measures internet addiction, results should show the same positive correlation between internet addiction and time spent online. The second criterion is the compulsive internet use skill, which is used to assess the severity of compulsive internet use. It has excellent reliability and high validity with significance at p less than 0.01. CIUS is used for validity checking because of the similarity between compulsive internet use and internet addiction. Both of them measures addictive behavior. CIU is kind of compulsive behavior on using internet with purpose. And the only difference is the internet addiction also includes compulsive internet use without purpose. Such a similarity can help us to evaluate whether IDS-15 is a valid skill on internet addiction. Another criterion is internet gaming disorder skill, short form, which is proven to have high reliability and validity. You can have a look here. This criterion is used because when people are addicted to online game, they are addicted to the internet too, as it's a necessary medium for online games. Moreover, IDS-15 is developed based on the 9 criteria of internet gaming disorder. Both of them measures addictive behavior related to the internet. Past studies also show positive correlation between internet gaming disorder and internet addiction. DAS-21 consists of 3 7-item subscales comprising depression, anxiety, and stress respectively. It's a well-established scale with high reliability and validity. For the reliabilities of each subscale, you can have a look. DAS-21 subscale show good concurrent validity with other measures of anxiety and depression. You can refer to the figures. Studies show that many internet addiction patients also suffer from psychiatric disorders, such as depression, anxiety, and stress. People suffering from psychiatric disorders may use internet as an escape to make themselves feel better. Internet addiction also harms people's lives in various aspects. This in turn causes emotional issues to internet addicts. For anxiety, the internet provides non-face-to-face interaction with anonymity. People with social phobia might use internet to avoid the stress caused by face-to-face interaction with others. However, relying on internet also worsens their face-to-face interaction skills, enhancing their social anxiety. For depression, heavy internet use might be used to relieve psychiatric symptoms. Maladaptive internet use might also lead to psychiatric symptoms. For stress, past studies show that greater use of internet is associated with decline in social circle, loneliness, and low family function. All this would enhance anxiety and stress. Thus, if IDS-15 is measuring internet addiction, survey results would show positive correlation between IDS-15 and depression, anxiety, and stress in DAS-21. In our 101 valid response, majority of respondents are females aged 25 to 44, and in romantic relationship, including the married ones. Most of our participants use internet every day. Half of respondents are using internet 2 to 3 hours per day, but we still find 8 people using internet over 6 hours. For reliability, a Combus alpha of 0.907 suggests an excellent internal consistency of IDS-15. No significant increase of alpha coefficient if deleting specific item. Therefore, no items is suggested to be amended or deleted. For validity, moderate correlation is found between IDS-15 with IGDSF, DAS-21, and total time spent on internet for private views, ranged between 0.3 to 0.5. That means the construct measured by IDS-15 has moderate correlation with these constructs. Therefore, results show that IDS-15 is a valid measure of internet addiction. We would like to highlight the exceptionally strong correlation between IDS-15 and CIUS with a validity coefficient greater than 0.7. It is noteworthy that IDS-15 strongly correlated with CIUS, but shows a much weaker correlation with IGDS9SF. When both IDS-15 and IGDS9SF are designed with reference to the 9 criteria of IGD outlined in DSMV, while the correlation is not as strong, this would be discussed in the coming section.
The high reliability and validity of IDS-15 could stem from several factors. First, the length of the scale. There are only 15 items in the scale, which is relatively short comparing with many scales measuring internet addiction. Therefore, we expect a lower chance of fatigue effects. Second, wordings of the items. Exceptionally long item and double-barreled items are avoided. Direct and simple language are used across the questionnaire, such as, I feel sad if I am not able to go online. This diagram explains why higher correlation is found between internet addiction and compulsive internet use. Internet addiction is an inclusive construct regardless of the purpose of internet use, that is, with or without being engaged in specific online activities. Compulsive internet use, whilst being included in internet addiction, specially addresses internet use with specific purpose. The overlapping of largest and second largest circle shows a high correlation. For internet gaming disorder, since it is a specific kind of compulsive internet addiction, it is the orange circle that falls inside the blue circle. The less overlapping area between internet addiction and internet gaming disorder shows a smaller correlation. Nowadays, there seems to be different interpretation about general use of internet, which IDS-15 measures. One of the feedback we received from survey participants is that they are not sure whether Netflix is watching TV or using the internet, as Netflix is streaming video service online. Similar situations may occur for listening music and shopping online, which are activities people do via internet connection. The boundaries between daily activities and internet use are blurred. This reflects that the concept of internet addiction in IDS-15 is overgeneralized. Indeed, studies show that there are distinct specific internet use addiction, including online gaming, social media, online shopping, and cybersex, which may suggest that specific treatment is needed for different categories of internet addiction. There is lack of consent on whether a generalized internet addiction exists or only specific internet use addiction exists. In this slide, we have the following suggestions for improvement in our survey. At the start of the questionnaire, we can define clearly what internet use is, with certain restrictions. Alternatively, we can carry out preliminary studies to identify the main uses of internet available to date, and let the respondents select the corresponding type before they answer the questionnaire. This can avoid overgeneralization and ambiguity in measuring online addiction. Further, we noted that IDS-15 does not have a cutoff score as screening reference of internet addiction and its severity measures. Without clinical gold standard of cutoff, some researchers argue that the scale is used to screen problematic internet use rather than assessment of internet use disorder. In the long run, the cutoff point or standard of reference may be necessary. To sum up, for areas for future research, we suggest the development of separate scales for each subtype of internet addiction, like the newly developed social media disorder scale. This can help clinicians to have more precise screening on patients to identify addiction type, followed by specific treatments. We also suggest future research to develop a cutoff point for internet addiction for diagnosis. Last but not least, a Chinese version of IDS-15 is suggested with its psychometric properties being validated. For limitations, since convenient sampling is used for our study, participants exhibit certain characteristics in age and gender as shown in the diagram, which may induce possibility to under or overestimate population result. Therefore, for improvement, we would like to suggest a screening procedure in convenient sampling or the using of randomized sampling for recruitment. This will increase sample representativeness of the population. This brings us to the end of our presentation. Thank you, everyone, and we are open for questions.